Let's get through the highlights of the markets right now. Let's start with the corn market. It is still lower, down a penny. 423. Soybean trade has been in higher territory. The November up 6 at 1026 and a half. Want to throw meal in here because a pretty decent export sales number for soy meal, up 72% week over week, but we still have a lot of meal and need to find more buyers. We also sold some soy oil as well. The August contract, 55.79. That's up 97. So we're looking to start moving into 56 cents on soy oil. By the way, the biggest buyer there in that first week of the month, Venezuela. Wheat market. Wheat is in the red, down 5 3/4, 535 and a half. Hard red is down 3, 519 3/4. He's in Chicago. He goes the right direction. Vice President Zaner Ag Hedge, Ted Seifried. Hey, Ted, what are you watching here today?
What's up, Tony? Well, you mentioned export sales. That was certainly something we look at every Thursday. Yeah, like you said, a pretty good week for meal. We had a pretty good week for meal last week. It's just, you mentioned we were down 72% in meal exports. Well, it depends on which crop year you're looking at, because we had a really nice number for next crop year for meal, which, by the way, it doesn't go on the same marketing year that, say, corn and soybeans do, which starts September 1st. This is a calendar year, and it goes through the end of December. Either way, when you combine old crop and new crop sales, they're pretty close to what we saw last week, which is to say they're really good. So yes, we need to move the meal, and it's good to see that we're getting the exports. The big disappointment there for me was corn. We had a marketing year low for our old crop corn sales, and it's not quite that time of year, Tony. It is the time of year where they start to slow down, but 97,000 compared to the 1.2 millions that we had been seeing just even a few weeks ago is a bit of a disappointment there. And even new crop sales were a bit underwhelming for corn. Soybeans, old crop sales, this is the time where that's supposed to slow down. I'd say it was better than what we're normally used to seeing this time of year, but we finally got a pretty decent number for new crop, over 500,000 metric tons. The one notable thing there, though, Tony, is that China still remains absent from that new crop sales sheet. Still nothing booked explicitly for China. Now, we did have that flash sale yesterday of 120,000 metric tons of soybeans to unknown. There's been a lot of speculation that that is China now starting to come back to the market. That talk has been kind of swirling all week, and that's been a big portion of why soybeans have been able to find some strength. But also the other thing that we're looking at, obviously, is weather. And you've got a bit more of a spicy 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 day outlook.
We're going to see if live and feeder cattle can close higher for a third straight session. Weekly export sales numbers for pork, 17,100 metric tons. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually a 30% decrease from the previous week, the last full week of June, and down 48% from the 4-week average. Now, that's the actual sales, the actual shipments, what went out, down 12% week over week at 26,500 metric tons. But the market is moving higher, and the August is 82 higher, 105.25. That August trading within 2 pennies of the day's high. Now let's go to the feeder market. Feeders have been higher 2 straight sessions, and I'll say it's a disappointing weekly export sales report for beef, down 24% on sales, down 27% on actual inspections. Feeder market down $1.50, 324.07, and the live cattle market down $1.40 at 222.50. Let's go back to Chicago. Ted Seifried, Zaner Ag Hedge, livestock markets. What's got your attention?
Well, like you mentioned, Tony, feeders are down just a little bit, but really not taking back a whole lot of the gains from the past 2 days. It's been a very volatile week where we were sharply lower Monday. We had a really nice rebound Tuesday, Wednesday, and then here today, we're giving a little bit of that back. But really, this is more of just a pause up at contract highs. I'm not sure if this is a topping formation. I think it's too early to tell. A lot of times we'll say that higher volatility can be indicative of an extreme, i.e., a high or a low. But we've had a lot of volatility in this feeder cattle market for a long time, and that doesn't necessarily mean that this is different. So I'm curious to see if we're going to bounce back and close up near the highs, or possibly make new highs here today. So we're watching that closely. As far as hogs, you mentioned it. It's been a pretty decent bounce here today. We're kind of coming off of this corrective low. I think that correction may be over with, and we are looking to see a bounce back up towards those June highs. It's looking pretty good there for me.